Now we want to turn your attention to a subject that concerns all of us, and that is becoming a fad, which is extreme diets. The possible harm of these diets, if they're taken irresponsibly, has been highlighted yet again after a 39-year-old raw vegan influencer died, and her family said she died of exhaustion and starvation, though we don't know the official reason yet from the hospital. Now, the influencer, according to her family, the Russian influencer, for 6 years did not have water. According to her own social media post, she said that I haven't had water at all for the last 6 years. And she said that I get my water from fruits and from coconuts as well. The influencer's family also said that for the last 4 years, she has been a raw vegan. The influencer's typical lunch looked like a whole watermelon, a whole melon, along with that, a carrot juice. With that, for a water substitute, she would have coconut water, or she would get juice, or she would get water from fruits. So she didn't have water, she didn't have any processed or cooked food for the last 4 years. So let's understand, what is this raw vegan diet that this influencer was following and that she was putting out on social media, that was being watched by millions of her viewers. She was subscribed by thousands of people on both Instagram, TikTok, YouTube as well, and her videos were watched by millions of people. So what is this raw vegan diet? It is a diet that has only plant-based food that is uncooked and unprocessed. So this food includes fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and other unprocessed plant-based food. It's important to mention here that raw veganism is different from veganism. These two things are completely different. As a vegan, one would eat plant-based food, but that food can be processed, that food can be cooked. So let's say if you have rajma chawal, that is plant-based food, that is vegan food, but it's not raw vegan. For raw vegan, you need to eat something that is raw, as the name goes. It doesn't have to be cooked. You need to eat something, let's say, an apple or a melon that is completely unprocessed. You haven't done anything on it, and you are having it directly after getting it from plants. So that's the difference between veganism and raw veganism. Now, why is this diet usually opted by people? It's opted for weight loss. A study carried out in the year 2013 said that the people that they studied, they followed the raw vegan diet for close to 3.7 years, and they had a weight loss of 9 to 12 kilograms. In 2017, another study said that this diet can be beneficial in preventing and treating type 2 diabetes, because of course you're not having any sugar, because you're not having any processed food, any cooked food, you're only having natural sugars. But this brings us to a larger question. Are these extreme diets, such as raw vegan diets, or there are so many other diets, intermittent fasting, there's keto diet, so many other diets. So are they good or bad for your health? And can they go wrong if they're not taken responsibly? Are they sustainable in the long term? Experts have emphasized time and again on the need for a balanced, varied and high nutrition diet. They have concerns over essential nutrients being excluded in these diets, such as raw vegan diet or other diets, if they're not carried out properly. So there's need for an evidence-based, balanced diet that we need to follow, and that's going to be the focus of our show today. And for that, we have some experts joining us. We have Palak Mehta, who's the founder of veganfirst.com. We also have Pradeep Shah, who's a raw vegan, and we have Niti Munjal, who's a nutritionist, a founder of a platform as well, and she's a dietitian. We also have Dr. Rakesh Verma, who is the former Additional Director General of Health Services, or DGHS, at the Government of India. I first want to start with you, Dr. Rakesh Verma. These extreme diets are becoming a fad these days. But what, according to you, are the pros and cons of these? Let's say, let's first start with a raw vegan diet.
Rashi, what question you have raised is a very pertinent and relevant question. I'm very happy that NDTV is raising up this very vital social issue. See, extreme of anything is too bad. Extreme of anything is dangerous, not only for physical health, but psychological and mental health also. See, raw food is made for those animals. I repeat, for those animals who have got huge intestine. If we have seen a cow, a buffalo, other animals, they have got another process that they eat. The material goes to the stomach and it comes back for reprocessing into the mouth. They chew it and then they are able to digest it. We as a human being, our intestine is long, but not long enough to digest all that. So food needs to be processed, food needs to be cooked, food needs to be chewed, food needs to be cut and boiled or steamed or fried, whatever is required. That is what is required. Our system does not take too long threads of carbohydrates, too long threads of proteins, and too long threads of fat. We require processed food, cooked food, not the raw food. And that has been held and utilized for centuries and centuries and centuries. So unprocessed, uncooked food is dangerous. What we recommend only for uncooked food is the fruits, which have got small length of fibers, smaller molecules, which can be easily digested, assimilated, and absorbed by the body. The process is got, once we eat a banana or an apple or a mango, that doesn't mean that immediately it goes to the system. No, it has got a long process of digestion in the system, which start from the mouth. The saliva starts the digestion.
You've raised a very important point, Dr. Verma, that we are different from animals. We don't have the same digestive mechanisms in our body. And Niti Munjal, I want to come to you as well. You are a nutritionist yourself. So in this case, what we are saying is that we are not sure whether the influencer diet, particularly because she was following a raw vegan diet. But being a nutritionist yourself, would you say that a raw vegan diet can go that wrong, that it can lead to somebody's death? Can it have such consequences?
Actually, Priyanshi, the devil lies in the details. So we don't know really if we go to the detail of it, people start following influencers and people start following certain types of diets when they are, following, let's say, like you rightly mentioned, a keto diet or something. They don't get into the details of who is managing it. So whoever is doing a certain type of diet should be done under supervision, first of all. It should be done under expert guidance, right? Whenever we say that, okay, she was on a raw diet, there are macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are the fats, proteins and carbs, and micronutrients are the vitamins and minerals. So when we say that, okay, we need fats to absorb the fat-soluble vitamins from the food that we are eating. That is the reason why we say that everything needs to be balanced in a certain manner. So whenever there are researches which are coming in front of us, whenever there are cohort studies which say, now there is always some science behind it. But when we just randomly, start following anything and then we take it long, so nothing which is balanced is not good for us. So
can you stick your neck out and say whether these raw food diets can have such serious consequences? You're saying we need a balanced diet, we need fats, we need calories, which these raw diets don't have.
If you have only water, let's say water is good for us. If you have only water, let's say, you'll end up having a water electrolyte imbalance. So anything which goes into an extreme, anything which we start following blindly, and when we are not balancing it, even like you rightly said, intermittent fasting. What people do, they start following intermittent fasting, then they would fast for prolonged hours.
Right.
But the food that they are consuming is not balanced. So if that's not balanced, they are not getting proper nutrition.
So
and
I think
we end up blaming a certain type of diet.
Right. So any kind of extreme diet can go wrong. That's the point being made here. But we also have one a panelist here, Mr. Pradeep Shah, who's a raw vegan himself and who has spoken about naturally recovering from several diseases by being a raw vegan. So thanks very much for joining us and tell us about your journey. How raw veganism has helped you. What are the benefits you've noticed? And have you faced any problems with the diet?
First of all, thank you all for giving me this opportunity and to represent myself. Give me sufficient time so that I can answer what exactly you mean. When I say I am raw vegan, it means I am eating a cooked food, but cooked by the almighty nature, that is sun cooked food. That is God cooked food. So understand that thing, that it is cooked by sunlight. So sun cooked food, that is what I'm taking, not on the fire. Now, this is a natural provision made by Almighty Nature for all the living creatures. And for several lakhs of years, we have been following, and gradually the trend of cooking and all those started maybe after a few thousand years. This is continuing, and this has become very popular because it is very addictive. And that is why we are finding that the whole human race is diseased. Whether you are a technically advanced country or a backward country, or you're rich or poor, or you believe in any religion or anything, that doesn't matter. But almost all of the human race is diseased because of making certain fundamental errors. And then we try to glorify this by confusing ourselves. If you understand the nature science, from birth till the end, nature has made all the provision for each and every creature. It could be a microbacteria, or it could be a gigantic animal. Each and every provisions are made by the nature for it till the end of the life. And as far as my journey is concerned, till the age of 55, I was a vegetarian, taking even dairy products. Then looking at the dairy cruelty, I quitted dairy. Then last 10 years, I started this journey of raw. So I don't say raw veganism, I say nature cooked or sun cooked diet. Because it is cooked by the nature. So I don't say word raw, just because I have to use it. So I started at that time, 90 to 95%, I was taking fireless diet.
Right. Let me also get in a word from Palak Mehta, who also has a platform, Vegan First, and talks about going vegan. Mr. Pradeep Shah, thanks very much for telling us how having raw food has helped you. And Palak Mehta, I also want to understand from you that raw vegan and vegan, both two different things. But are there risks to overall opting for these diets that might be a huge change from what people are already having?
Right. Well, one of the first things we need to keep in mind, which I think we've just missed out in this conversation, is that Zana, who was actually on a raw vegan diet, we still don't know the cause of her death, but she also suffered from an eating disorder, right? Now, an eating disorder could happen to a vegan, vegetarian, or a non-vegetarian. And a lot of people have reversed lifestyle diseases through vegan diets, through raw vegan diets, but that doesn't go viral, right? So that doesn't break the headlines at times. So that's important to note. Coming to your point, well, people go vegan for multiple reasons. One is that for a lot of people, it is a lifestyle choice. Ethics are more important to them. So based on the animal cruelty, they avoid certain foods.
Right.
Now, a lot of people, they go vegan for health reasons. So they might choose a whole food plant-based diet or a raw diet. It's important, I agree with, a nutritionist here, that it's important that whenever you do shift from a diet, you have to take a balanced approach. It is, however, very much possible to be completely healthy and to have a balanced raw vegan diet or a balanced vegan diet. Something small, because I used to be a non-vegetarian myself. I've been vegan for 9 years now. But something so small that when we are used to having dahi in our diets, curds, right? Now, this is very high in, that's a good fermented foods. So now if you're eliminating curds and if you're shifting to not a raw vegan, but just a vegan diet, it's important to use something like dosas or kimchis or karswat, so sauerkrauts.
Right.
So having something which is a good gut bacteria. So being balanced is important.
Right. I want to give you the last word, Dr. Rakesh Verma. As we've pointed out, as Palak also said, that people, it is possible to be absolutely healthy with a raw vegan diet as well. Would you agree? Is it possible to be absolutely healthy in these extreme diets such as raw veganism, such as keto, intermittent fasting? Or do you think there's a balance needed? Do you think there's a new diet needed to meet our needs of the new age?
See, I do not support the context of some of the speakers. I still say one should have a balanced diet, cooked and processed diet containing least amount of fats, good amount of proteins, good amount of vegetables and fruits and dry fruits. And they should be used fresh, not processed, and try to avoid heavily fried things and try to eat the local fruits, local vegetables, and do not go on extremes. Extremes of these diets have got a lot of psychological impact also. And the recommendation, again I repeat, is that use least amount of oil, lesser amount of salt, lesser amount of sugars, especially the processed sugars, go for more fresh vegetables and fresh fruits and dry fruits.
Right.
And have a balanced diet.
All right.
And balanced approach to life also.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for joining us. The point is loud and clear. The extreme of anything is bad, be it in diets or be it anywhere else. So keep that in mind the next time you pick out a diet from social media without doing your own research or without consulting a dietitian.